Man Gadzi, MagnatesMedia, and Sonny V2. What do these channels have in common? They're crazy editing. Over the next 1 week, I'm giving myself a challenge to create a similar video to them from scratch. To be more precise, I'll be focusing more on creating a video in the style of MagnatesMedia. If you don't already know, most of his videos take more than a month to create, and that duration is made because he has more than one editor, which is not something a beginner like me could face. So, to make this challenge feasible, I'll be creating a short story, less than a mini story of a business magnate. Let's go ahead and explain the rules. Rule number 1. All edit has to be done from scratch. This means that I can't use any template to make the work easier, and I can't steal ideas from anyone. Rule number 2. I have to bring up a finished video before 1 week elapses. Rule number 3. The video has to be engaging and have the vibe of a MagnatesMedia video, even though it will be less than a minute. And I'll be leaving that for you guys to judge at the end of the video. With that being said, let's get started with the challenge. MagnatesMedia videos are majorly telling stories. It could be stories of popular business gurus or how some popular apps were founded. I knew I had to create something between one of these two. So I went to ChatGPT and told it to give me a list of business gurus that founded popular platforms. Which of course it gave me all these lists, but I had to choose one. After a series of calculations, I decided to go with Airbnb, which was founded by Brian and Joe. The next step was to get a full script. I think this has to be the most difficult part of this challenge, as I am not that good of a writer, but I can at least make an attempt. A challenge is a challenge, remember? I went back to ChatGPT again. This time, I told it to summarize the story of Airbnb in less than 200 words. And as we all would expect, it did. It actually did, but not in the tone I needed at all. Not in that MagnatesMedia tone. So I picked up the important details from the summary and started writing a whole new script in the tone I needed. After 4 solid hours of cracking my brain and trying to get the 1-minute script that I needed, I ended up with a script like this. On the day 2, I was set to get a finished voiceover before the day runs out, but everything soon came crashing down. You see, I didn't plan on how I was going to get a voiceover until this day. I was relying on getting an AI generated voiceover, which I soon realized that the purpose of this challenge was to get a finished video that is similar to that of MagnatesMedia, and that meant I couldn't just use any voiceover. I couldn't just use any AI voiceover I found. I needed to use a voice that has a storytelling tone, like MagnatesMedia. I spent several hours searching and searching, but couldn't find any. It all seemed like the challenge was about to end before it even started. Everything was falling apart. So I lay down and began thinking. And before I knew it, I dozed off.
Are you saying an AI generated voice is better than your voice? Why do you have to rely on AI when you have a good voice?
I woke up from my slumber and decided to use my own voice and get the tone I needed. But here's the thing though, I don't really have that storytelling based voice that I needed. Regardless, I was going to give it a shot anyway. I recorded in the year 2007 and recorded in the year 2007 and recorded until I got something close. And then I concluded for the day and went to bed. Have you ever been in a situation where you were editing a faceless video and got stuck in one scene? Either because you didn't know what to add and get it right, or you couldn't find a particular stock image or video that you have in mind. Well, this part of my editing process is where I solved that. I dedicated this day to dividing my script into scenes and making a sketch drawing of how I wanted each scene to look at the end result. Then looking for editing assets that I will need to bring my sketch to reality. Keep in mind, we are still looking to achieve a MagnatesMedia style. I spent around 6 hours brainstorming scenes and looking for different assets for each scene, and when I was done, I closed for the day because I had enough time, remember? The actual reason I started the challenge was here. The day I was going to win or lose the challenge. I knew I had a lot of responsibilities to face. All the months I spent learning how to edit were going to be either worth it or not. I was either coming out victorious or not. This was my time to prove to the world of who I am, a beginner editor. And with that in mind, I sat down and began to edit. I edited and edited. It was all taking shape. The sweat, the dedication, the dream, all the days of hard work. Everything was all coming to an end. In the way I was expecting it. I used my sketch and made the scenes the way I imagined. After that, I added transitions and did the sound design. Now, here is the result you all have been waiting for. In the year 2007, two friends, Brian and Joe, living in a small apartment in the city of San Francisco, found themselves struggling to make ends meet. They could barely pay their rent at that point. They came up with a crazy plan of renting air mattresses to the people at a nearby conference. They called this business model A Bed and Breakfast, later known today as Airbnb. In the coming years, they were joined by their friend Nathan, and together they started expanding globally, dominating the shuttle rental industry. Fast forward to 2020, after facing a lot of skepticism, legal challenges, and backlashes, they launched their IPO and went on to set a record of being one of the most successful business in history, raking in hundreds of millions of dollars every year. This is an example of a motivating story.